Back in 1998, young and daring director Guy Ritchie gathered some money to make his first full-length crime comedy about young and no less daring guys on the path to money and success. It's unlikely that when Guy started filming, he could have imagined that he was on the verge of creating a cult film. The symbiosis of an intricate plot, witty British humor, excellent directing and acting made Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels a classic. But did it guarantee a ticket to a better life for the actors who starred in it? Welcome to the Biographer Express channel. Today, we will try to figure out how the career of the bright cast of this movie turned out after the phrase, "Stop, cut." Get comfortable and let's get started. Footballer and famous bully Vinnie Jones got the role precisely because of his intimidating appearance and sinister reputation. Therefore, the role of the collector nicknamed Big Chris was perfect for him. But there were also some adventures in Jones's spirit. So on his first day of work, the actor arrived from the police station where he was being held for a fight with a neighbor. Ritchie personally invited him to his directorial debut. Guy saw me in some TV show where I participated as a football player, and then he called and offered me this role, Vinnie recalled. And the director was not mistaken in his choice. Jones brought a powerful energy to the set. Accustomed to physical activity, the actor performed many of his own stunts. He can often be seen running, jumping, and diving all over the set. Colleagues also recalled his contagious sense of humor, which added ease while working on the film. Jones's performance received widespread acclaim from critics and audience, with many noting his ability to bring a sense of raw authenticity to the portrayal of Big Chris. He also managed to receive the Empire Award for Best Newcomer for his role. Which character from the film is your favorite? Be sure to share with us in the comments. Vinnie fit into the role so organically that he got the opportunity to show his talents once again, this time as gangster Bullet-Toothed Tony in Ritchie's next work, Snatch. For this role, Jones won the Best British Actor at the 6th Empire Awards. Since then, Jones has continued to work steadily in both film and television, appearing in a variety of projects from action films to comedies. But the menacing image was firmly assigned to the actor. His first leading role was a jailed football player in the film Mean Machine, where the actor again met on the set with both Jason Statham and Guy Ritchie. The successfully found image became Jones's calling card in subsequent films Swordfish, Gone in 60 Seconds, Eurotrip, X-Men, The Last Stand, in which he managed to work with Angelina Jolie, Hugh Jackman, and other famous actors. In X-Men The Last Stand, he played the role of the mutant Juggernaut, and the actor liked this role so much that he declared his readiness to continue it. But due to the restart of the universe, this has not happened yet. Despite the fact that there have been expensive blockbusters in his career, most of Vinnie's works are average projects, which barely reach 5 points in the IMDb rating. The situation is somewhat saved by TV series such as Extras, Psych, Chuck, Gallivant, where the actor has minor roles. Unfortunately, the viewer became bored with Vinnie's image over time, and since 2006, there has not been a single major or successful project in his filmography. Despite this, the actor continues to actively participate in films and takes on any job. Moriarty began acting in films late, having worked for many years in other professions, for example, as a boxer and a loader. But his life changed when, in 1978, Moriarty was spotted in the London docks by the film crew of Quadrophenia. Thanks to his characteristic villainous appearance, the middle-aged man got the first role. One of the iconic films for him was the movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, where the actor played the role of a crime boss, Hatchet Harry. But the actor's further career was not very successful. PH managed to star in several more films such as Chaplin and Patriot Games, and he also appeared in the miniseries Frank Herbert's Dune and Frank Herbert's Children of Dune in the early 2000s, playing the role of warrior Gurney Halleck. In total, the artist has a dozen projects after working with Guy Ritchie. Moriarty tried his hand at various television programs, but he had quite a long break in his acting mini-career. In fact, PH did not act in films for 8 years, and only in 2021, he reappeared on television as Ian in the series Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins, the Tony Tucker story. We would like to remind you that at the moment the actor is already 84 years old. And even if his filmography is not as diverse and large as that of other actors, he is still able to prove himself in cinema. Frank Harper came to Guy Ritchie's set with good experience in British cinema and television. His portfolio included the very popular TV series The Bill and the drama In the Name of the Father. He was very proud of his last work. "I was quite lucky from the early years of my career that the films I played in turned out great," the actor said. According to him, Frank's experience working at the Smithfield Food Market helped him embody the criminal personality in Guy Ritchie's film. And while improving his character, Dog, he was inspired by a couple of real-life villains and gangsters from his previous job. Harper admitted, Dog, a menacing figure with a shaved head, unpredictable and prone to violence, became one of the film's most memorable characters. Besides his acting job, Harper's experience as a producer also played a major role in the film's success. He worked closely with Guy Ritchie and the rest of the crew, helping shape the film's overall vision and ensuring its dark and stylized aesthetic. He also took part in the creation of the film's soundtrack, performing vocals on the song If the Milk Turns Sour by the Sandals. This further demonstrated his multifaceted talents and dedication to the project. After the movie, Frank continued to prove himself as a versatile actor, starring in various film and television projects, and often portraying characters with a tough and cruel nature. He has collaborated mainly with British directors and was often quite successful. So, there is a comedy starring Alan Rickman called The Search for John Gissing, as well as 2 films related to sports, Bend It Like Beckham and The Football Factory in his Piggy Bank. There are also TV series like Keen Eddie, Collision, and Ripper Street. After participating in the last show, Frank disappeared from the screens for several years, and he returned in 2020 in a number of mid-quality British projects. The son of the famous British director Gordon Flemyng, Jason, was already an experienced actor by the time of filming in Guy Ritchie's movie. He was the first of the cult 4 to try himself in the Hollywood field in Stephen Sommers' film The Jungle Book, and later in the science fiction thriller Deep Rising, but in supporting roles. However, it was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and the role of Fat Tom that brought Flemyng stability in cinema and television. In the movie, Tom is perhaps the most cold-blooded of all his friends. When the company gets into trouble, Tom reveals his calculating nature, and eventually he and his friends find a way to solve the problem. The actor later said in an interview that during filming, he played poker with the film producers, and he lost so much that he had to agree to work for several days for free. After the famous film release, Flemyng continued to work steadily in the industry. The main direction of his career was the alternation of intense filming in England and supporting roles in Hollywood. Another Guy Ritchie film, Snatch, and the 2010 blockbuster Clash of the Titans were among his high-profile roles. In minor and episodic roles, Jason worked on such films as From Hell with Johnny Depp, the fantasy Stardust, the Agatha Christie's Marple series. He's also briefly acted as Brad Pitt's father in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Unfortunately, many films with Flemyng's participation remained overboard from the industry. Among his high-profile film projects over the last 10 years were the role of a mental hospital employee in the drama Stonehurst Asylum, and the red-skinned mutant Azazel with the ability to teleport in the movie X-Men First Class. By the way, the actor did not immediately accept the offer to play in the comic book film. After the difficulties with makeup on Clash of the Titans, he didn't want to participate in a project that required him to sit in a chair in a dressing room for hours again. "I swore I'd never be in heavy makeup again, but this role is going to involve it. At least they said, don't worry, we'll add the tail in post," he admitted in an interview. Flemyng did them a favor as he enjoyed working with director Matthew Vaughn. The film became very successful, got a lot of positive reviews, and marked the beginning of a franchise restart. Currently, Jason appears mainly in TV series. He could be seen in the comedy musical show Gallivant, the sci-fi series Black Mirror, and the historical series The Last Kingdom. A major television role was his participation in the popular historical series Jamestown, where he brought to life the image of the governor and large planter Sir George Yeardley. In 2023, the actor starred in the British series A Town Called Malice. It has already earned good ratings from the audience. Have you watched it? One of the audience's favorites. This is exactly how they speak about Dexter after the release of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels on the big screens. During the filming, Fletcher worked closely with Ritchie, for whom, as we remember, this was the first full-length film. They had previously worked together on the TV show Press Gang, so they had a good working relationship. Since then, Fletcher has credited Ritchie with getting him his big break in the film industry. He got the role of a guy named Soap, the nickname given him because he liked to keep his hands clean of any unlawful behavior. It is worth noting that among all the actors on the set, Dexter was one of the most experienced. The actor began his career at the age of 10 and since then has confidently followed his chosen path. By the time he received the role in Ritchie's debut, he had a decent number of roles in films and TV series in his portfolio, including the role of a young artist in the film Caravaggio, and a nerd gigolo in the romantic film The Rachel Papers. After the release of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Fletcher's career took off. He began to get invitations to act in different projects, but the actor rarely ventured outside of British cinema, actively working with directors of Foggy Albion. Fletcher regularly appears on British television and in BBC documentaries. He does not like Hollywood blockbusters, preferring to work in British low-budget and independent films. Fletcher's notable roles include appearances in the TV series Band of Brothers, which was produced by Steven Spielberg, and Hotel Babylon. The latter, also not widely distributed, was highly appreciated by the audience. His significant work was participation in the British TV series Misfits, in the supporting role of the father of one of the main characters in the first seasons. But the actor hasn't always been lucky. The list of dubious projects includes Cockneys vs. Zombies, Doom, and Dead Cert. Since 2010, the actor's filmography has been dominated by projects of dubious quality. In 2018, Dexter reunited with Nick Moran on the set of the crime film Terminal. This is one of his last works as an actor, but the film failed at the box office and received a lot of negative reviews. Recently, Fletcher began to reveal his talent as a director, releasing the films Wild Bill and Sunshine on Leith. However, the movies turned out to be of average quality. But then things went uphill. In 2015, he released the sports drama Eddie the Eagle, which was able to earn good money, and 3 years later, Dexter got the opportunity to prove himself in a new level of cinema. He was announced as Bryan Singer's replacement as director of Bohemian Rhapsody, the acclaimed film about Queen lead singer Freddie Mercury. The biopics in his filmography did not end there. Fletcher also directed the 2019 film Rocketman, which chronicles the life of Elton John. The film received many nominations and awards, including an Oscar. In July of the same year, it became known that Fletcher would direct the third part of the Sherlock Holmes film series with Robert Downey Jr. The first two parts were directed by Guy Ritchie, so it's not surprising that he passed the baton to a man with whom he had already worked and whom he knew well. However, the project has not progressed very far since then. Let's hope that we can still enjoy a new story about a brilliant detective, and Dexter Fletcher will receive recognition as a director. Nick Moran was one of the key actors in the film Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. He played the role of Eddie, a charismatic and quick-thinking card player who got involved in a high-stakes game, and thanks to whom the whole four got into trouble. In fact, this film became Nick's first big break. Although he began acting in films at the age of 20, first appearing on screen in the 1989 drama Hard Days, Hard Nights. By the time he worked on Guy Ritchie's film, he had 10 years of acting experience behind him, mostly in theater and a little on television. The actor has not had the best reputation since his youthful rebellion, but during filming, Moran was known for his dedication and professionalism. Every day, he arrived on set early in the morning, ready to work, and spent long hours perfecting his scenes. He also went deep into his character story, taking the time to explore Eddie's motivations and backstory to lend authenticity to his performance. The actor was prevented from being on a peak of fame mainly by his violent nature. Although he gave it his best while working on the film, Nick also showed himself to be a guy with a short temper. An incident during the London premiere of the film when Nick got mad and hit an overly intrusive photographer also added fuel to the fire. This episode influenced the actor's professional growth. Later, Moran almost lost his job due to an old-time arrest for drunk driving. Following the success of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Moran continued to act in film and television, receiving various roles both in the UK and in the US. But the bright image played a cruel joke on him, and after that he was offered only the same type of gangster roles, which he was trying hard to get rid of by agreeing to various costume projects. The role of Aramis in the adventure film The Musketeer was among them. In 2010, fate gave him a new opportunity. The actor brilliantly starred as Scabior in the film Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, and later he appeared in the second part. Another successful work of the last 10 years has been the British detective story The Great Train Robbery. However, there, as well as in the Harry Potter movies, Moran also had a minor role. He can also be found in the extravagant thriller Terminal with Margot Robbie and the television comedy show Inside No. 9. But in his work, the actor devotes more time to the serial format. In recent years, Moran has expanded his career beyond acting and is trying his hand as an extraordinary director. He directed several films, including the biographical film Telstar: The Joe Meek Story, and the big screen adaptation of Kevin Lewis's novel The Kid. Moran's latest high-profile project was 2021's Creation Stories, which follows the life of Alan McGee, one of the world's most famous and controversial music producers. The actor played the role of musician and producer Malcolm McLaren. Besides his film career, Nick enjoys singing and sometimes performs Frank Sinatra hits with his band at London's Café de Paris. In Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Stephen Mackintosh played the role of Winston, a card-sharp and close friend of the main characters. Before this, Stephen had already starred in several pretty good films and TV series. In 1997, he received the Crystal Star Award at the Brussels International Film Festival in the Best Actor category for his role in the comedy drama Different for Girls. The most famous role is considered to be in the action horror film Underworld Evolution with Kate Beckinsale and in its sequel, Underworld: Rise of the Lycans. Mackintosh can also be seen in the drama The Secret Life of Words, the prison break drama thriller The Escapist, and the biopic Rocket Man. These roles demonstrated his adaptability as Mackintosh moved easily from one genre to another, showing his versatility as an actor. He also worked on television. The actor received a Royal Television Society Award and a British Academy Television Award nomination for his role in the 2000 crime drama Care. Mackintosh also starred in the critically acclaimed drama series Criminal Justice and the first season of the psychological crime thriller series Luther starring Idris Elba. Recently, Mackintosh has often worked as a narrator in BBC documentaries. In a few seconds, we'll continue the story about the next actor and his interesting life journey. For now, we're suggesting you subscribe to our channel so you won't miss new videos. In the late 1990s, he made a living by appearing in jeans commercials. He was also a bit of a football player, a bit of a boxer, and tried his hand at diving. By chance, the company owner whom Jason Statham signed an advertising agreement with became the producer of the film Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Jason starred in his first film. Made to sell his own stuff on the streets during his hungry teenage years, Statham perfected the role of a brash huckster nicknamed Bacon. This skill was very useful to the future star during an audition with Guy Ritchie, who asked Jason to sell him some kind of trinket. The latter did an excellent job and was cast in the role of the main character, a smuggling dealer on whose behalf the story is told. In Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, you see me as myself. I was just doing what I usually do. He would comment on Bacon's role years later. After his debut, Statham continued to work with Guy Ritchie on the films Snatch and Revolver. However, as a character, Statham established himself in the film by another director. It was the crime action film The Transporter, directed by Luc Besson, which later became a franchise. The film turned Statham into a popular action actor, and he actively supported his role, starring mainly in action films. Some were more successful, others failed miserably and received negative reviews. And even the famous director could not save the situation. In any case, it was from this period that Statham has maintained the image of a strong, invincible hero who, in the main roles, attracts everyone with his brutality. His characters are spies, assassins, police officers, bodyguards, and thieves. And even in comedy films, he remains in his image, perhaps slightly ridiculing it. The next breakthrough in his career was his participation with Sylvester Stallone in the films The Expendables and in the Fast and Furious franchise. Jason has been one of the most recognizable action heroes who at least once a year pleases his fans with a menacing look and cool stunts. Recently, the science fiction film Meg 2: The Trench was released. Although the film's ratings were low, it collected significant box office. Statham starring in it was a big cause for it. It was Jason who became the most successful and desirable in the movie business among all the actors in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. By the way, did you know that Guy Ritchie is often accused of imitating Quentin Tarantino at the beginning of his career? Although, if you carefully analyze their early films, the only thing they have in common is genre. In our other video, we talk about what happened to the actors of Pulp Fiction. Click on the icon that appeared on your screen to learn even more about the lives of those who breathed life into the characters of the cult film. And don't forget to like it. And that's all for today. It was the Biographer Express channel. See you soon.